Hey, HR friends, welcome back. So we're in day four of the 3-3 emotional 6.5 day sequence. And you can see day four right here in this white rectangle. All right. So before we get started talking about day four, we're going to back up 24 hours because in our last post, we specifically talked about this peak right here. All right. And on this peak, we said, hey, it's going to reach above a seven and there's going to be a bunch of newsworthy events that are going to happen here. And the reason this peak was so high is we talked about there being a small m mental frequency that was going into a polarity flip. And you can see that it was flipping polarity in first person, this entire gap right here. And then once it flips, then it continued on through that 24-hour segment. And this peak right here was very eventful as far as mass shootings go, unfortunately, and shootings in general. And also, there was a significant car accident we're going to review at the end of this forecast today that was tied to this exact moment in time. Now, if you're wondering what's going on here, when we get these long elevations where things hold up like this is either the E frequencies, the capital E frequency macro, or the micro M frequency. And what they do is they mess with our mental and emotional rhythms in addition to agitating us. So it takes us out of balance and then it agitates us, and we end up making decisions that we're later going to regret. And there's some really sobering videos that we're going to review here as far as what happens when these moments are agitating us and manipulating us. This is the organized pattern of chaos. It is literally causing us to act in ways that are chaotic. And Health Reconnected is trying to help you understand this. Now, I'm taking some time to talk about the last 24 hours because here's the good news in this 24 hours. You can see that this polarity moment's going to end pretty soon. Okay. So when this 24 hours kicks off, there's going to be some small polarity that happens here in the third person, and we're going to have another little kick up here in the second 12-hour phase. All right. But this is probably going to be the calmest day of this entire 6.5 day sequence. Now, there has been plenty of drama going on before this, and this mental frequency, it's not like once this thing flips off that everyone's going to go, oh, I feel great again. No, there's going to be some jet lag with this as well. So, again, we'd want to look up here. We always talk about the number four. And if this combined reaches four or holds four, we're going to notice it. Okay. So it kind of touches the four, dances up and down. So this is more like a code yellow today, not a code red for this 24-hour period of time. Now, at the end of this 24 hours, we're going to have some more stuff coming on here. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have a capital E or a macro E frequency flip on, and it's not quite as strong as this one. But emotional stuff can be just as powerful as mental stuff, okay? So again, this is another peak that we're really going to watch. So at the end of this 24-hour section, we really want to be on our A game, especially in our first person perspectives. And once you see how this is dictating all of all of the unfortunate events, the things that we call accidents, well, they're not really accidents if we can predict them. What we're trying to do is help you understand what these are so we can start to minimize the chaos and start to make things better for all of us. So, in this 24-hour period, again, always do your best to stay calm and to cooperate and communicate in clear ways. And definitely don't let your design fool you into running away from your problems or making your problems worse by fighting with the people around you. That's what we're trying to help you avoid doing. All right. So if you can avoid that, then what you can do is you can easily do the objective. So the objective in this mathematical space-time reality is that we're supposed to act as an interconnected team. And we're supposed to get along with all our teammates. If we're not getting along with our teammates, we're running away from our responsibility to be in positive and mutually beneficial relationship, or even worse, we're choosing to fight with them, then we're obviously not in alignment with the objective, which means we're not in the alignment with the frequencies that govern us. Now, unfortunately, we don't get to control the frequencies that govern us. It's the opposite way around. That's why they're called governing frequencies. If we're not taking a team approach and working with our team, and then you have to understand what our team is supposed to be doing. Again, this is a mathematical construct. This is easy to prove. Come to our website, check out all the information. It breaks it down and how this works. And the objective as a team and as the individuals that comprise this team, we're just supposed to balance our perspectives and balance our routines so that we're equally investing in our family, our individual selves, our world, and our nations. Now, problem is this: we didn't realize this space-time reality. We didn't understand how these frequencies governed us, and we've all overinvested in family and individual strategy, and that has us fighting with one another over who has more power or who gets more this or that. And what that's doing is it's causing all kinds of chaos in the larger levels. It's also causing our weather problems. Okay. This is all connected in space time. It's not like we exist on our planet and we're separate from that. Think again. In fact, I've used this analogy before, and just so you're aware, every single life form that lives on planet Earth is synchronized to Earth's rhythms. That means we're connected to it. So to think that our actions aren't connected to the things that are happening to us from a climate perspective, that would be irrational to think that. In fact, we are tied to the earth, which means we are responsible for the earth, which means our actions definitely matter. And when we're not getting along with each other, it takes our attention away from our responsibilities at those larger levels to make sure we're taking care of our environment. Because without a stable environment, life is not possible. That's just how this works. Okay. So, as an individual, if you're not playing for the team, you're playing for yourself, and you're not getting along with everybody, or you're not equally investing your time in the four social perspectives that would create a balanced reality for all of us, well, then expect to feel different parts of your body hurting. And our body is split into four quadrants. So if your upper left quadrant's hurting, these are the relationships out of balance in your life. If your upper right quadrant has problems, these are the relationships out of balance in your life. Left lower quadrant problems, these are the relationships out of balance in your life. Right lower quadrant, these are the relationships that are out of balance in your life. It's that simple. And we have made technology and we have educated people on how to use this technology literally. All you have to do is take the time and the effort, and it should not take long at all before you say, yeah, this is true. This is exactly what this is. And now I'm starting to understand all these unpleasant things. I can change this. Now, here's the great news. If we all just to come together as a team, and every individual that decides to do this, whether the whole team does it or not, every individual that commits to this and then starts to balance their routines, that's how you know if you've committed. It's not a commitment to say, "I understand." It's a commitment when you take that understanding and you put it into action, and when you put it into action, your routine tomorrow will not look like the one you had today, okay? We are in constant state of evolution, we're in constant state of change, and the people who are willing to change their routines and work together with their teammates can slow their aging, they can stop the diseases that are currently affecting them. And if they do it soon enough and they take this serious, they can reverse their conditions and heal themselves. That's how space time reality works. And there's an additional reward. I talk about this. Come to our website, understand this construct, and you'll see there are two ways to exist. You can exist in a negative feedback loop. That's the one we're in. But if you achieve this objective, you get to graduate. You get to leave a negative feedback loop and you get to experience another life in a positive feedback loop, kind of like a heaven. Now, that's how this works. Again, come check all that stuff out. But right now, what we're doing is we're making you very aware of why things in your life aren't going smooth, why parts of your body don't hurt, and how they're connected to your choices and how you decide to get along with your teammates. Okay. I think that's enough. I think that's pretty simple. And really, I don't think anybody disagrees that we're an interconnected team and that we're supposed to be balancing our earth. I think the real problem comes in is we just didn't understand this organized pattern of chaos was manipulating us. Health Reconnected is here so that you understand this organized pattern of chaos because we don't like to see you suffer and we don't like to suffer with you. In fact, we want to make this better for all of us. All right, let's get into the 24-hour forecast here, okay? Now, the good news is electromagnetics today are not super, super high. Now, you can see in the second 12 hours, we're going to have this elevation in the third person, and you can see first person dances up and down in that little piece here in maybe the first couple hours. You can see we still have that elevation from that polarized mental polarity. Okay, beginning 12 hours, and then also in the beginning of the second 12-hour set, you're going to want to be on high alert. Now, the thing we really need to talk about today is these alignments. These alignments are no joke, okay? So we have a capital N, capital E alignment, another 24.5-hour alignment, all right? this one's going to be substantial. Now, I was at the Naples Botanical Gardens today with my parents, and I was just watching people walk around, and it looked like a bunch of penguins waddling around. Everybody, didn't matter how old or how young. I could see everybody limping. And this is, I used to do a fall prevention program for senior citizens. Okay. So it's my disease. I look at how people walk, I look at their mechanics, and I can easily see that this is affecting a grand majority of us right now. And I'm asking and I'm showing you this because pay attention. Even if it doesn't hurt, I can promise you it's tightening things up and it's affecting the way that you're capable of moving because of how strong this alignment is. It's going to tighten up both lower quadrants, but the M, capital M, is a little stronger. So expect to see more on the left side than on the right side. Okay. Now, in addition to this alignment that does not stop and then is going to continue on into the next day as well, we also have some other powerful alignments here we need to talk about. So the first one we're going to talk about is this ME right here. All right. Now, this is almost a 3 hour alignment, 2.75 hours. This is going to affect upper left quadrant. M, the small m, that's a 7.5 day frequency. Small e is a 3.5 hour frequency. This is a tough one. If you're not balancing and you have a routine that's helping at the world and national level, expect you're going to feel this one. People that have sinus issues, people that have visual issues, people that have memory issues, people that have hearing issues, anything up here, people that have heart and lung issues. And remember, we talked about this last time. The M's and the E's are parked up here right now. People are going to get run down. These frequencies, if you're out of balance with them and you start to get a cold or COVID or whatever it is you're starting to deal with, that has to do with the strength of what's happening plus these alignments. Really, really, really document. You want to know what area of the upper extremities is giving you trouble, and you want to know the times because then we can get right into the minutia for you and help you out even more. Okay. All right. So the next one we're going to talk about is the ME on the space side. That's this one right here. This is also going to test upper extremity and lower extremity combined. All right. So we're going to have right upper and left lower. Now, again, just document times. And remember, these alignments are happening with this powerful one that's happening above it as well, especially when we start to have another one that's going to affect the left lower quadrant when this M right here is already doing that. So during this hour and a half time, if you really start to feel your left lower quadrant more, well, that's because this frequency is also amplifying what this one is doing. They're kind of working together. All right. So important to know that. All right, the next one we want to talk about is the EE over here on the space side, or on the time side. My mistake, on the time side. 2.5 hours long. Again, another upper extremity or upper quadrant alignment. This is going to be both right and left upper quadrant. Now, this one, the right is a little stronger. This E is a 6.5 day frequency. The small e is a 3.5 hour frequency. Expect right side here, but again, there's a lot going on in this day. All right. So people just really need to pay attention, document, document, document. We got to know when you hurt and where you hurt. We can help you the most if you're willing to do that. All right, so last one we're going to talk about here is this PE. It's right down here. It's going to be 3 hours long, and this is going upper extremity too. So I think you're starting to see the trend here. We've got 24 hours of constant lower extremity, and then all the other four alignments are going to be intermittently testing these upper quadrants primarily. So going to be a busy day here, even though polarity is down as far as individuals go and how we feel. You're probably going to notice this one quite a bit. All right, so let's get down here. We're going to talk about macro position and look at, you can see the imbalance already. There are four stacked up on the bottom, which means there's six stacked up on the top. Now, again, super strong alignments, so expect lower extremity is going to be tore up this next 24 hours. But you can see too, a little bit heavier when we have to look at how this is divided here. Quite a bit more going on this right upper side. And when we look at the testing sequence, so 4 is where we consider it high. So if it's above a 4, expect to feel it. Right upper quadrant, above a 4 the entire 24 hours. Okay. Left upper quadrant is not. It's below the 4. So expect right upper quadrant for sure. And then both left and right lower quadrant are going to be irritated as well. Now, do not be surprised with heart, lung stuff, respiratory stuff, feeling like a cold's coming on, digestive stuff. This is going to be a messy 24 hours for a lot of people, I imagine. All right. So if I was in practice, definitely lower quadrant stuff, definitely upper right quadrant stuff. Everything's in play. And because it's such a strong alignment day, you better pay attention and you better document because That's how we help you. If you're not willing to document when you're hurt, that means you're not willing to accept that your choices and your routines are what's causing this, which means we can't help you. And if you're not willing to accept that, that means you're probably not caring about these polarity moments either. And you're not even realizing that they're manipulating you and the people around you, and they're animating all of the chaos that's making your life unpleasant. We want to help you with that, but we can't unless you take this serious. All right. That's enough of that. Let's get down here. We're going to talk about what we always do. We're going to show people we got the electromagnetic guides for the entire summer season. This way, you don't have to wait for me. If you got travel plans, you can go forward. You can see the dates tell you from top to bottom here, from side to side, from left to right. You can see when it starts, when it ends. So even if you don't understand the sequences yet with the way that we number these awarenesses, it won't matter. And down here, you can kind of just move your way through, navigate through them. Same thing here. We got fall season. Good to know this stuff because when these polarity moments come, you definitely don't want to be in big groups of people. You definitely wouldn't want to be at places when it's very likely that chaos is going to, show its face again. All right. Now, here's what I was talking about in the beginning. Here are featured electromagnetic confirmation videos. Mass shooting in Kentucky. This happens right on the peak that we were warning people about, and make sure you take a look at this. And I think I put another shooting in here as well. There were a bunch of shootings. And not only do these peaks, so we expect to see the really bad ones where there are lots of individuals that are involved in it. Mass shootings have to be more than 4 people. Now, there are tons of shootings that happen that are around the peaks on either side of the peaks, but what's really causing it are the macro E frequencies and the micro M frequencies. And you're going to see in both these examples, the micro M frequency was in polarity. That's a 7.5 day frequency. It's very powerful. It messes with our mental rhythms. And for people that have any kind of mental instability or an emotional instability, these are really going to affect them. We actually talk about that in the vlog. Vlog number 5 explains how we can know what people are going to be affected by these polarity moments more than other people. So just because these polarity happen, it's not like our whole society just goes into fisticuffs. No, it's a little bit more complicated than that. But trust me, we understand how this works. We can help you sort it out, and we can definitely make a difference with this going forward in the future. This one makes me sad. This one not only happened, so this is 3 young football players in a fatal crash in Maryland, and not only is it right on the peak or in the peak that we talked about yesterday that said that this was gonna be newsworthy, but it also has to do with this really strong alignment up here. So make sure you check out both those videos. Now, last thing I'm gonna talk about here before we hang this one up is in the United States right now, weather's been going bananas. Now, I'm really hoping with this next 24 hours, it's going to calm itself down. Now, the problem here is this strong alignment right here. That's going to keep weather amplified up. That's what's causing these heat waves. That's what's amplifying this storm that's starting to head towards Texas right now. Barrel's coming. Here's my issue. Barrel's going to hit the Texas coastline pretty much Monday morning. And that's what we're looking at right here. Okay. So that's going to be happening as this is elevating. Plus, that's also going to be having the strong alignment going at the exact same time. We got some things that we're going to have to worry about here. That was an awful long one today. I warned everybody. I said, hey, when that big peak came, this is going to be newsworthy. This is a tough week. I'm hoping this next 24 hours for people is going to be a little easier, but the truth is these alignments, it's going to be challenging, no doubt about it. All right, I'm going to see you in the next 24 hours, and we're going to just keep trudging through this because we need to put our attention to this if we want to make this better, and that's what we're committed to help you do. All right, talk to you then.